will play Feyd. Well, let me apologize. I'm not calling him Feyd. Feyd, as far as I know, is an Arabic name. I'm saying it correctly. Feyd. So, but, Feyd. Let's get to it. Who is going to be playing Feyd? Well, the smart money, which I keep getting from so many people, is Bill Skarsgård and Barry Kay, who recently starred in The Eternals. But what do I think? I think it will probably not be either one of those, though I think Barry would actually work very well. I was very impressed with him in The Eternals. I actually wish he was in the film a lot more, but he was probably one of the strongest performances, and I did not expect. He was very inspiring. But in terms of Fade, well, I think it's impressive to have Barry, so I wouldn't have any issue if Barry got the role. If he gets it, that's fine. I have no issue with that. But I think actually they're going to pick Dev Patel. Now, why Dev? Well, there are several reasons going on here. One is that they do want to get somebody who physically fits with Timothée. And Barry does work, right? Because they want somebody who's comparably thin, comparably tall, and has the physicality for it. Dev is not very muscular, but I think it wouldn't take too much training for him to get into shape. And he's recently had a lot of critical praise for Green Knight. Not from myself. I really didn't like the film. I didn't care about the film, but Green Knight has really impressed a whole lot of people. I would not be surprised if he gets an Oscar nomination, and that, I think, is what's going to tip it, is for Feyd. They don't just want somebody who can do the role or is physically right, but for lack of a better word, it's going to bring a lot of Oscar prestige. These awards matter because even if they don't win the Oscar, it helps out with box office. It helps out with Blu-ray sales. Again, there is such a thing as an Oscar effect. It is real. And if they got somebody like Dev, they could probably guarantee that Timothée would get a lead actor nomination and Feyd would get a supporting actor nomination. Again, this is Hollywood. It is a business. So I think in terms of the business aspect, they'll probably pick Dev Patel if he's available. Again, a lot depends here on schedules and whether you can find people and obviously if they're going to be reasonable with their price. But I think Dev would want to do it. It fits with a lot of roles he's been doing. He's been doing a mixture of big budget things as well as independent roles. And I think he could do the role, but I don't think he would be the best fit for Feyd. I would actually prefer Barry Kay if I had to choose between the two, but I'm just stating what I think would work best for the producers. Because again, Denis not just directing this, he is producing it, and they do have to be mindful of making money. And with somebody like Dev, they could really tap into a lot of different markets. So I think overall, he would be the most attractive choice. Is he the best choice for Feyd? No, I think there are better actors. And then just to finish it off, there's the Harry Styles factor. Now, if you know the past versions of Dune, every person who's played Feyd has been a musician. Harry Styles is a musician. I myself like the idea of having a musician for Feyd, but I don't think Harry Styles would be the right choice for this. We're putting aside if he's even available, because if you know Eternals, minor spoilers, he's been revealed as presumably a future Avenger. If Eternals does well, then presumably he's going to be locked in for a couple of different movies, so he might not even be available. But I have nothing strongly against him. I just don't think he's right for the role Feyd. And again, whether The Eternals does well is currently being debated. It's off to a pretty good start. It's probably going to make 70 to 80 million on its first week. That's not great, but it's not bad. So it's unclear they're going to do a sequel or they're going to keep the actors in their contracts. But if it does pretty good box office, then probably Harry Styles will not do it. But Barry Kay could still be a strong possibility. I'm putting the money on Dev Patel, just in terms of my understanding of Hollywood and film history. But I would have no issue if Barry Kay got the role. But I think they're going to go for Dev Patel and offer it to him first. And again, just because they offer it doesn't mean he'll accept, but I think he'll be probably the prime choice they're going to make for Feyd, in my humble opinion. Thanks for listening.